So I think, I think, in fact, your group, HPMF, is doing a lot of work. There are similar groups in Delhi which are promoting the whole profile of the procurement manager. So, Nitin, is there a way you feel that people need to understand the procurement manager a little better? Not only people in the industry, but outside the industry.
No, first I want to answer Mr. Asheem's question. In Mumbai, we get the daily permit from wine shops and you are allowed to buy straight.
I thought that was also true in Delhi, or did they stop it, that L1, L2 system?
For hotels, there is no daily permit available.
Yeah. So this was for personal consumption for somebody else. So there it's allowed. So wherein you buy for, there you get the permit and then you can straight away buy it. So it's easy. I think Delhi seems to be difficult in all aspects.
It is. So that's a TP and all, it's a big
challenge altogether. Let's not get into it.
TP.
I suppose Shiva's, if Pernod Ricard is here, they would be able to answer that question better.
Whenever there is an event, which, and I've now been associated with many events, I invariably get a very nervous, panic-stricken call from the F&B manager on Friday, saying that, look, we have a weekend ahead and nothing has happened. What are you doing? This and this. Then we want the TP, we want this and all that.
So TP is the last stage of what you're talking about. There is a whole lot of process which takes at least 5 to 6 days to get the liquor into the hotel. If it is IMFL, if it is imported, then God help us. You have to be well planned.
You have to contend with the law, You have to contend with your owner's expectations, that you don't, the budget is kept under control.
Yes, yes.
And then also you have your department heads.
Yes.
I remember, in fact, Mr. Menon, I don't know, I remember a very famous chef from your hotel chain, who used to tell me that, if I say something has to be procured, it has to be procured,
Yeah, I know the chef. I work for him.
So how do you deal with, you have to deal. They're doing great. They're bringing so much of publicity. They're getting revenues for the hotel. They're stars. What do you do in such cases?
I'll answer this question. As I worked for the chef, I don't know whether you want to mention, but so what happens is chefs are the front face of the organization, and I have immense respect for chefs. I would have been a chef. I'm a hotel management graduate myself, but I took a decision that not to be a chef because I found it difficult then. I wish I was a chef. But what happens is every chef tries to protect the interest of the organization. And they, in fact, want to showcase something higher than the organization is. So what do is they show a creativity in providing a different product or bringing in an international product within Indian scenario to take the level of the organization to the next level. So the buyer has to ensure that he supports the function. And here the relationship between the chef and the buyer comes into picture. And then the relationship between buyer and supplier comes into picture, wherein the buyer has to ensure that every time he not just keeps himself updated, but he visits fairs, he reads a lot, he keeps in touch with other colleagues and ensures that whatever the chef needs gets it. I have done that all the times.
Fantastic. That's very good learning, especially for younger people getting into the business of being procurement managers. Now, Mr. Menon, what do you think is one big thing that needs to change about the way you're doing business today? Do you have a wish list? Like, do you think procurement managers have to change one thing and a lot of things will change after that?
In the initial stages, what you said, the purchase department has got to be recognized much more than what it is being recognized now, for which HPMF is doing pretty well. That's one. The second is that the reliability of the vendors should be more, and the vendors should be taken into confidence for anything and everything for the hotel. I have always been telling me that now if my seat is cozy and if I'm comfortable, it is not because of my general manager, it is because of my vendor. Because the last moment requirement in India is so very high, it's so very high, that only your vendor can help you.
That's right.
And we break all the rules when it comes to that. No purchase order, Nothing, no advance, only a verbal call. The relationship.
Right, right. That's very important. And I think this, I believe as long as this vendor procurement manager relationship remains at that personal level, I think the industry will benefit. After all, it's a very human-driven industry, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. There are a lot of vendors sitting here, and everybody does business based on the relationship, as we were saying. They don't know many organizations. They just know the face of the organization, which is the purchasing head.
Right.
And it's like I have worked in several pre-openings, wherein the brands were even not aware, and then the suppliers were still supplying. The owners were getting into the business for the first time. So, but what was common and known was, say, a purchase manager's face.
So you also play a role in guiding the owners and, you know, managing their expectations.
Absolutely.
Yes, because in the pre-opening stage, they're completely at your mercy.
Absolutely, yeah, because if there is no strong purchasing head there, then the organization will definitely suffer.
Which also brings me, Asheem, you know, to the issue that today we increasingly hotels are franchisee hotels. You know, gone are the days when there used to be a Taj, Oberoi, you know, ITC, which used to own all the hotels they operated, you know. So how does the procurement manager work in this scenario where the operator has a certain set of standards and rules and the owner has his or her own standards and rules, you know?
This is a trade secret which needs to strike a good balance between the owner and the hotel management.
Yeah, people who do it are, you know, they have admiration, you know. So
yeah, definitely. It's a very tedious and a very challenging task. Yeah. There are certain ambiguities and differences always available between the owners and the hotel management, and the desires are different. But it has to be bent on a common platform, and a solution has to be digged out. There is no methodology behind it. You have to leverage that confidence into your owner as well as your hotel management for them to accept and authorize you to buy what they want or what you actually want for the hotel, which is in benefit of the owners as well as the hotel. So that balance is purely a mutual and a admirable relation between both the parties, where the hotel purchase manager and the finance has to strike a very cordial relation. That's about it.
Right. Yes.
There is no methodology, there is no written book about it. Cost control, definitely there are so many methods. Negotiations, the choice of items, the recommendations comes from the user department. The owners also recommend certain things out of their own experience with their previous businesses. For my owners, they are more into real estate. So I also do not challenge their judgment. If they tell me that I want to put a carpet of this quality in my ballroom, I will definitely go with their advice also.
Because they have the knowledge and the experience.
That knowledge and expertise. So you can't contradict everything. But mostly, the owners listen to the management because they are the experts in running the hotel. So definitely, there is a cordial balance which needs to be struck. And there is no particular method about it.
That's right, yes. So one last question, you know, Mr. Menon, is our, you know, we had the education session. I don't know whether you were there. You know, just 2 sessions back, the focus was on education, hospitality education. Now, I was wondering, you know, is there any in our hotel management institution? Is there any module for procurement? So people are taught the rules, you know, basics of procurement. Nitin?
Yeah, I'll answer this question. Yes.
I think the Amity, you know, director is here. So, you know.
There is no full-fledged materials management section, but as a part of F&B controls, as a part of food production, there is a section on procurement which talks about...
F&B controls is just one part of the procurement scenario.
So there is no full-fledged. But I'm really proud that HPMF has signed a deal with American Hotel and Lodging Education Institute, and they have created a special course called Certified Hotel Purchase Manager just for us. And this has happened for the first time in the world.
And when did this happen?
It happened about last year.
Wow, okay.
And there are 50 purchasing managers who appeared. And some of them passed, not all. But I'm saying that first time
is one amongst them.
So, but then I'm saying this has happened now to the world, that the certified hotel purchasing manager, the certification has come into the picture. First time in the world, and that too in India. So I'm really happy and proud for it.
That's very good. I mean, I think that's a very good note to end this discussion. And I think we have a lot of PR professionals, you know, in our midst, and whenever PR professionals are talking about hotels, they never mention procurement managers. I didn't know about this world till I joined BW Hotelier. So I hope the times will change.
So we don't have anything to showcase. We are a support function and will continue to be.
Yeah.
What's important? That question I want to get back. Wherein you said, what do you want us to change, or what the purchasing managers should change is built up confidence. Because many of the purchasing managers, they have knowledge. They are very experienced, but they don't showcase that.
Right.
And then that brings them to the next level or a level below that. They are never considered as a front runner in the organization.
Right.
Because the level of confidence is really, really less. They lack in writing, lack in communicating. And then hence that department gets...
Yeah, so again, you're going back to the education session, what people talk about, the soft skills,
Absolutely.
The soft skills are very important,
Absolutely,
I guess.
and that's what, so people will have to develop that. So if you're not strong enough, how are you going to represent a department?
Right.
I would say one needs to have those kind of qualities first, and then move forward and ensure that you are a front runner.
Right.
To add it on, what the Taj Institute does is that the back offices are also put in front. So what they do is they do a night manager, wherein he is in charge of the
Right.
hotel itself. So during the night time, whatever problems occurs, he's the person to take charge of it. So with that, the head of the department started feeling that confidence to get switched over to some other department to make that.
So they get an idea of operations,
Yes. So
right.
interact with more
Right.
people, interact with the guests.
Right.
That builds the confidence of the people, which
Right.
backs by the purchase
Right.
department.
Right.
If that is done, more and more confidence can be built.
I think this is fantastic, this capability building in the soft skills area. Asheem ji, any thoughts?
Yeah, definitely. See, the purchase managers are more or less coming from below the ranks to what they are today. That is why that confidence level is lacking. But when you come to forums like this and interact with the vendors as well as other professional stalwarts, then you understand that where you need to communicate and how you need to communicate. The communication is the only channel where, whether it is verbal, emailing, or probably on the Facebook, or probably anywhere on any platform, the communication is the best and the only channel where you to showcase your confidence and your knowledge. Knowledge is there, the experience is there, but the communication is lacking. That is the biggest problem today we are facing with the current purchase managers or the ranks which are developing themselves to be future procurement managers or directors.